And obviously, as you said, young players still at Ipswich is such a huge thing. And we've heard so much about, Luke Chambers in the press being, a great captain.
Father figure kind of.
Yeah, taking young players in.
Did see that, yeah.
How was Jim Magilton as a captain for you coming through?
Do you know what? I loved and I hated him. Hate is a really strong word, and I don't hate him, because I did love him. But when you made a mistake, the first voice you heard was Jim's, and it was you were scared of it because it was so loud. I remember being on the pitch and I'd be screaming at someone and I'd be like, I didn't hear you. You need to scream louder. Jim would literally just speak and you could hear him from one side of the pitch to the other because he just had that voice. But that was the thing. As a younger player, you were you wanted to make sure you'd done things well because you're worried about him having a go at you. But then the best thing about Jimbo was he would always, if he had a go at you, it was for a reason because he knew you could do better. So he'd always put an arm around you afterwards. So he would have been one of the ones at Carrow Road putting your arm around you.
Right.
Because as much as you were scared of him, you also loved him because he'd say, look, the reason why I'm doing this is because I know you can do it better. So next time, try and do it like this or do this or do this.
So he's the father figure.
Yeah. So maybe a Luke Chambers, he might not be as cutting as Jim, and he'll accept that because that's why he had such a good career because he was such a winner, but he wanted to breed that to other players as well.
He demanded 100% every time.
Massively, yeah. But you were scared of him because of that. But then that's why I think when he went into the manager side of things, because he went from player to manager so quickly.
You could already see it happening when he was on the pitch, I guess. By that sounds, he was already managing people around him.
But it was difficult from the squad's point of view, seeing Jim suddenly be the manager.
How did you react to it as a squad?
How did we react to it? Well, we didn't mind. We didn't mind it. I didn't mind it because I knew he wanted me to do well. But it was just things obviously didn't quite work out with results. So then he had to sort of try certain things. So I thought I was going to be given loads of chances in the gym, and then I just got dropped completely after a few games.
Were you told why?
Did he tell me why?
Yeah. Did he put sit you down?
Well, not particularly. That was the difference between him as a player and a manager was suddenly now being a manager he's got to deal with so many other outside things that he probably didn't realise as a player. So actually putting his arm around an 18-year-old kid wasn't a priority of his. Whereas as a player, I don't know, it's different.
Yeah, that's my next question. How did the two differ? And did his man management change from being, when he was captain, or you played under some managers of various degrees. Carl Robinson, for example, I imagine he's probably a very people person. I may be completely wrong. That might be a media perception that's built up. Whereas, is Jim more standoffish? Was he sit you down, have a chat, have a coffee?
Yeah.
How did he manage? Because obviously there's so many stories from that era, like Amsterdam, for example, with some of the younger players and some of the older players going but not being allowed to go.
Yeah, that was after my time, but
but is that type of. Was there a communication between the management and dressing room? And if there was, how was it?
It's hard to say, because as a captain, if he has a go at you and doesn't put your arm around you, you kind of just go I'll be alright in the morning, kind of thing. And then he'd come in the morning and he'll still demand off you, but he will just calm down a bit. But when he's your manager, and he makes those key decisions of starting you and developing you and this and the other, it's just it's different. So you kind of you stop. You don't want to when he comes in the morning after having a go at you, you'll be like, "You right this morning, Jim?"
So a bit eggshell.
Everything all right, mate? Whereas as a manager, you couldn't do that because it mug you off even more, kind of thing, or whatever it may be. So it's difficult.
So it's head down, work hard.
Yeah, and I found it difficult. I think slightly. I mean, look, Darren Curry was his best mate. And he lost his position as a key player because he just went off him, and I mean, Mr. Chop himself, with Darren Curry, he was exceptional when he played alongside Jim, and then Jim became manager, and they kind of fell a bit.
They did.
I mean, I've spoken to Darren Curry recently, and they're good mates. They're back to where they were, but he found it difficult as a manager, being a mate of his, Someone's got heels on.
Yeah.
And
big old heels.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it changes massively when you become from a player to a manager. And I think I wouldn't say he struggled because he would have been strong in his decisions, but I found it difficult.